Now, I've done quite a lot of work with this plane, and I have a feeling that it would benefit from being sharpened, so I'll do that next. Start by taking the chip breaker off, slide him back and rotate him. You will see that I'm using the new long-awaited Lie-Nielsen honing guide. I'm very pleased with it. It means in particular that a plain blade and a chisel, if you want 30 degrees, they both fit into the same slot and your projection is the same, which makes it much more efficient. 25mm projection gives me 33 degrees, which is what I like. Now, the next thing I want to tell you about is this remarkable device, the Artisan dressing plate. It was developed by Dave Powell, who was the owner of DMT Stones, and the well-known Japanese craftsman Toshio Adachi. This is called a crowning plate. It's convex in its width as opposed to flat, and you use it to dress your waterstones so it produces a known curve all the time. And I've got the same hollow in this stone and the same hollow in this stone, and it makes a fine camber which is very useful. So I'm liking this rather a lot. It took a while, but it saves me a lot of strokes when I'm honing. To put a wire edge on this might take me 6 or 7 strokes. If I was using a flat stone, I'd maybe have to do 5 strokes in 5 different positions. So you'll see that this is rather a lot quicker. It also gives me a consistent camber. The method I've used for many, many years can give variable results. With this method, I know exactly what I'm getting. There we go. These are Ohishi stones. That was a 600 grit. This is a 10,000 grit. Clean the wheel, clean the tool. Now I tip up now. 22mm projection. You can of course make yourself a stop block to do this if you wish. This will just polish the tip. 4 or 5 strokes be quite sufficient. Clean the wheel, clean the tool. Now this is a flat stone this time. It's a 15,000 grit Sharpening, which I'm also liking. It gives a very good polish. And as you can see, I'm using the ruler trick as usual. I use slightly more strokes. Than I used to, because I've been paying more attention to the wear that takes place on the flat side of a blade like this. It's called, some people call it the wear bevel, but a little bit more. More strokes there is a good thing. I'm pretty sure this is going to be, yeah. I do like to keep a wipe of oil, camellia in this case, on the flat side of my plane blade. It's very, very precious. We don't want rust there. The chip breaker is dropped on at right angles, swiveled on carefully. The whole aim of all this procedure is not to damage the front edge of the chip breaker, which is a precision component. Now I'll slide up. I'm taking fine shavings. I'll go pretty close. I don't think I've got reversing grain. I don't think I need to go to the extent of a 4/1000 setting, but I will go quite close because the rays in the quartered timber are quite brittle. They can cause problems sometimes. You didn't see that. Using the lever cap as a screwdriver is an old habit. It was all right with a cast iron lever cap, wouldn't be at all right with a bronze one. I like to hold my plane at 45 degrees when I put the blade in. It's less likely to run away from me down the slope and blunt itself before I've even started. Try and get it fairly close. I'm just going to check the symmetry of my blade setting. We'll hear and we may see the point where the blade starts cutting on either side. There. There. You see, that's very nearly perfectly symmetrical. Now, it is always wise to check your setting on a piece of scrap wood. It's much better to mess up the scrap wood than your job. But I'm pretty confident here I'm going to get on with the job.